Kind of expected that. I guess I'll just back on down the hill.
This 300H, a hybrid if the blue accents don't tip you off, now gets the F-Sport treatment. That means a meshed spindle grille with smoked trim, low-profile tires on 19 inches, and some interior changes, like a thicker place for your hands, more stylish spots for your feet, and Hidori aluminum trim. A different gauge cluster treatment, too. Jumping to light speed.
On the 300H, the F-Sport package is largely cosmetic. The suspension has been tweaked a bit, but if you want true F-Sport performance like V6 power and an adaptive sport-tuned suspension, you're going to want to go with the ES350. Also, the hybrid, not available with all-wheel drive.
The ES300H was dropped off after Seattle got 6 inches of snow, and there's the usual icy base that's typical in the Pacific Northwest. All-wheel drive helps in some cases, but not all.
One thing I can tell you for certain about the ES300H F-Sport, it's terrible in the snow. Now, obviously, it's probably the tires. Remember, those are really, really important. But if you live in this kind of climate and you're thinking about getting an ES, go with the all-wheel drive.
Only the ES250 gets the option of all four wheels driven, and with a naturally aspirated four-cylinder, it has less power. And yes, even 250 can be had in F-Sport trim. There's a decent amount of space in the boot at 13.9 cubic feet. All 5 passengers could throw in carry-on luggage and a small personal item without issue. So happy that there's a spare tire. I've had issue with run flats. There's a small pass-through, good for sliding in 1, maybe 2 pair of skis. Eventually, I need to get this out of the driveway. And I know that trying to head up the hill is a losing battle, but a guy's got to try.
Gonna back down the hill.
There's the argument that I should just leave it parked, but I know getting to the bottom means clearer arterials. Let's look at the 300H powertrain. It starts with a 2.5-liter inline-4 paired with a permanent magnet electric drive motor. Total system power is 215 horsepower. Lexus doesn't provide torque figures for its hybrids. Generally, the engine doesn't fire up. The Purple Rain light show is there to entertain. In cold temperatures like this, around freezing, it fires up more often. The EV mode is good for traveling very short distances silently if the battery is well charged. And I'd like to thank Lexus for this excellent controller. The transmission is an electronic continuously variable unit with simulated manual shifts. Yes, even up here, at least on the F-Sport. There are drive modes, but in these conditions, I can't really tell you the difference they make other than Eco seems to do better on snow.
This does have F-Sport badges, but it's not exactly a performance machine. 0 to 60 in about 8.5 seconds. Not that I can show you.
Let's focus on what the ES does really well. It's quiet, even with what has to be a slightly firmer F-Sport suspension, with cold, low-profile tires pounding over uneven icy chunks. And the hybrid powertrain is seamless.
Traction may not be so great, but fuel economy is awesome. The EPA rates the average of this at 44 miles per gallon. That's the beauty of hybrid powertrains.
There's also an excellent suite of active electronic safety tech dubbed Lexus Safety System Plus 2.5. It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but the adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, automatic emergency braking, blind spot warning, and rear cross traffic alert that come in the package are very good if they're anything like what's in the NX crossover I've driven.
Lexus has improved its driving dynamics over the years. They're applying something called Lexus Driving Signature to all their vehicles to elevate and standardize their driving dynamics. It's not soft and floaty. It's actually a little bit firmer than you might imagine. Straight and true. We all forget how awesome anti-lock brakes are. Now to get going, this is a slight upgrade. Kind of expected that. I guess I'll just back on down the hill.
Pricing starts at $46,500. Optioned up, this one's $51,000. The interior is edgier than expected. Screens and controls are placed in what Lexus calls a seat-in-control arrangement, meaning everything the driver needs is easily within reach. You want buttons? ES has more than I've seen in a long time. Materials are quite nice, with a few Toyota-grade plastics, mostly out of sight. A panoramic roof is reserved for the V6-equipped 350 models. Lexus has a new interface, but it's not in the ES. Using the touchscreen with the menu below, it's just fine. The standard sound system is good. The console that's easily accessible to everyone up front has a Qi charging pad in it. The glove box is pretty small, if that's your thing. I like this cup holder, works for short beverages, but deep enough to keep really tall drinks from dumping on your lap. I have no gripes with the heated and vented seats. The material is new luxe, and if black is too boring, circuit red and white are available. At 5'9", I have a little more than an inch of head clearance. Knee, leg, and foot room are pretty generous, though, and the center spine isn't too intrusive. More storage and power for phone charging. No separate climate zone or heated seats. Yeah, I've been very critical about the traction. It's really not very good, but the ES is good looking, it's quiet, it's comfortable with the hybrid powertrain. It's really fuel efficient, so if you're looking at a luxury sedan, you should really take a look. And because the weather was so cold, my slider didn't work, so no fancy moving shots. Keeping the car clean was nearly impossible. This is the worst shot video I've done in a long time. This time, it's a word of gratitude for Martin Campbell, who always drives, but this time, I think you deserve hazardous duty pay, man.
Yeah, just word for the wise. Don't drive a car with summer tires in the wintertime.
It's terrible. Drive to conditions, okay?